The Institute of Education Sciences, or IES, is committed to advancing education research through the sharing of publications that come from its funded studies. This video describes how grantees and contractors can ensure that the full text of their work becomes publicly available in ERIC. According to IES's public access policy, if you were awarded a grant or contract after September 2011, the full text of your research article must be available in ERIC no later than 1 year after publication. If your work is published by IES, then IES will submit it to ERIC. If your work was published after January 1, 2020 in a journal that will release the full text in ERIC, then you have met your obligation for making the article accessible. The publisher has agreed to display the full text no later than 1 year after publication. If your work is published in a journal that will not release the full text in ERIC, or if your work was published before January 2020, then you must submit your final peer-reviewed manuscript to ERIC. ERIC has negotiated agreements with publishers of more than 600 journals to display grantee articles in ERIC within 12 months after publication. To see if your publisher has agreed to release the full text of your article in ERIC, check the list of participating journals and sources. If your journal or source is on the list, the publisher will submit the full text to ERIC on your behalf, and you do not have to submit your work to ERIC. The list can be found on the ERIC website in the Grantee and Contractor FAQs. See the frequently asked question, do you have agreements with publishers to submit final, peer-reviewed manuscripts on the author's behalf? Even if your publisher will submit the full text of your article to ERIC, you are still responsible for including the grant or contract numbers in the published article, informing the publisher that it is subject to the IES public access policy before your work is accepted for publication, and confirming that the journal title and publisher match ERIC's list of participating journals. If your article was accepted by a journal that once participated with ERIC, but the journal moved to a publisher that is not participating, you will have to submit the article to ERIC using the online submission system. For peer-reviewed work not published by IES or a participating journal or source, your final peer-reviewed manuscript must be submitted to ERIC as soon as it is accepted for publication. You must notify your publisher of your grant or contract requirements and retain the right to submit the full text of your final peer-reviewed manuscript to ERIC. It is your responsibility to make sure that your publisher allows you to submit your work to ERIC and for it to be publicly available after 12 months. When submitting your manuscript to ERIC, you must use the online submission system. Include the name of the funding entity, the grant or contract number, and the journal citation for journal articles or the publication date for non-journal manuscripts on the document. If your article is in press, use the date you submitted the final peer-reviewed manuscript to the publisher. In all cases, you must have a date on the uploaded document. ERIC will verify the publication date before releasing the full text online. Also, confirm that the information on the document matches what you put in the submission form. Please note that when you submit work through the online submission system, the ERIC record will list the source as Grantee Submission, and the ERIC number will have an ED prefix even if the submission is a journal article. The record will be available soon after your submission, but the full text of your document will not be released for 12 months. For more information about submitting your funded work to ERIC, see the following resources.